All right, lunch break live. Let's try this again. I just tried to go live a few minutes ago and didn't have the mic set to the right setting on the software that I'm using, so you couldn't hear me. So I went through this spiel about email marketing, and nobody could hear me, and um, I didn't notice the comment about the sound being gone in time before I finished my spiel about email. So let's try this again. I'm going to talk about email and whatever other questions anybody might have. So if anybody joins in and you start watching this, please post in the chat. Let me know who you are, say hi, and whatever questions you might have. So um, I'm going to jump into email then, but I think I'm going to stream this onto Instagram as well, just because we'll get some extra exposure over there with that crew. So let's get the Instagram one set up really quickly. Wonder if I can. No, I can't. So, all right. So we're going to talk about email, and we're going to add the Instagram audience here. So going to answer a question that I had come in about email marketing. The question was, how do you effectively do email marketing? Like, what's the strategy? And so I thought I would take some time to answer that over here on Instagram as well. So if you have any questions while you're watching on Instagram, let me know, and I'll add that to the Q&A. But this is lunch break. And so on YouTube, doing this every Friday at 1 o'clock, thought I would share it with Instagram this week. But the first question that I had come in was about email marketing. Someone asked me, like, what is it? What's the strategy for email marketing? What should I be focusing on? How do I even go about doing email marketing? It was a great question, and it's something that everyone has a question about this. It's really kind of email is something that it's very accessible, that a lot of people have access to email for email marketing purposes, but very few actually know how to do this. And so as you may or may not know, I do email in my career. You know, I'm a marketing automation consultant for very large corporations. And so this is what I do in my day job. And email marketing is one of my passions. And so I'm excited to share this with you. And it's really not as difficult as you might think, but it's very easy to go the wrong path with email when you're trying to promote your business. So unfortunately, most often brands will see email marketing as an opportunity to advertise. And so they're essentially sending an ad directly to their customer's inbox. And not only is advertising not really a great strategy for most businesses, because you have to really spend a lot in order to make money. With advertising, when you spend that money, like social media advertising, for example, you get about a 5-to-1 return when it is a good strategy, when it's a good, effective campaign. And so that's a pretty good return. You know, I give $100, I'm going to get 500 in return. That's pretty good. But email's return is significantly better. In fact, the return on investment for email marketing is typically about 40-to-1. Even if you had half that, you're still way more than the return on advertising. So how do you effectively do email? Well, you don't look at it as another advertising platform. You don't look at email as an opportunity to send an ad to your clients. It should never be approached as an ad to your clients. What you should be using email for is to send them value. So when you provide value to your list, that's when you are really going to see that return. And so an example from me here lately was I sent an email to my audience. It was, just a small subset that I had narrowed down that I just wanted to send this email to. And it was really just a list of my top 5 hoodies. I knew the clients I was sending this to are ones that typically order hoodies, or they're doing retail, or I felt like they would be interested in adding some hoodies to their business. And this is a good time of year for that. So I just sent an email to those people. It was about 45 people. And I sent an email to them and I said, hey, here are my top hoodies. You know, hoodie season is here, falls upon us. So here are my top choices. And I got 4 orders from that email. And so just sending an email to just stay top of mind, to remind them that they intended to send in an order, to remind them that it's time to get hoodies before it's too late. I immediately saw that return on that email. And so it was it was a good play for me. And that didn't cost me anything to send that email to those people. And so what you want to do if you're trying to develop an email strategy for your screen print business is you want to first begin to capture email addresses. Ask people if they will sign up for your newsletter. And I don't mean just capture the email addresses of your customers and say, hey, they did business with me, so I'm just going to send them an email. Make sure that people actually say, yeah, I want you to email me your newsletter, or I want you to send me marketing content via email. Just because they did business with you one time doesn't mean they actually want that in the future. So it's always best to get that double opt-in, that extra confirmation of like, yeah, okay, I'm going to send you marketing emails and you're good with that. So once you have that, and the way to get that actually is to, offer something for free. Maybe it's a, top apparel for brands guide. And so you write out this guide that's like, here are the top 3 t-shirts, top 3 hoodies. Here's the different print styles. And it's just an informative PDF that you can give as a digital download on your website, and you give it away for free, and you let people download that in exchange for their email address. That's how you begin to build an email list. And so once you have that list, now you can start to provide value to them. And it could be as simple as like I just did with mine, where I'm sending, hey, here are my favorite hoodies. It's that time of year. Or as you get closer to the holidays, maybe all of your clients are retail, maybe there's a lot of apparel stuff. And so you want to send them before Black Friday gets here. You want to say, hey, here are some of the top selling, items. Here are some of that customers are asking for most often, or here's some popular things. Just because what you're doing is saving that customer the time from having to do the research, you're further embedding yourself in their mind as an expert, knowing, here are the products that I recommend, and you're just providing value to them. And so when you do that via email, like I said, you're further cementing yourself as the expert, which is going to cause them to do business with you. You're bringing yourself to mind for them. You're becoming more aware to them. And so familiarity is a huge selling factor. So when someone is familiar with you, meaning that this is why people post on social media so often, because the more someone sees them, the more familiar they become. And, I think it's said that it takes about 7 touch points for someone to really decide that they're going to do business with you. And so you want to stay familiar with that person. And so email helps you to do that. It's also a very unintrusive way to familiarize yourself and to become, to help your customer remember that it's time to do business with you. Because email, while it's super protected, like people don't just give their email out to everybody. It is something that it's very valuable, and they don't have, it doesn't interrupt them right then and there. That's the bad thing about ads, is like you interrupt people as they're doing something else. They're scrolling through the stories. There's an ad. It interrupts them and causes them to look, and it's made to look like native content, but it's still an interrupter. But with email, it's not, because they open their email, they're expecting to get emails from the things they've signed up for, from the people that they've told that it's okay for them to send an email to or get an email from. And so when you get that email address and you send them an email, they can check it when it's convenient to them. And people, getting an email address has been said, I've heard it said that it's like printing money, because an email list is, the value of it. One of the values I've heard is $1 per subscriber per month. So if you have 100 subscribers, you should be figuring out a way to make $100 per month off of that subscriber. Sometimes that's, with screen printing, a lot of times that's bulk purchases. You're not really getting that monthly, but, maybe one month you have, you send to 20 subscribers and you get, $500 in orders, or $2,000 in orders. Well, now, and it's direct result of that email. And now you've averaged out over the last 6 months, to $1 per person, or whatever the math adds to. But that 40-to-1 return on value is what really gets people really excited about email. But you just have to remember not to use it as an ad campaign. Don't send your customers ads. Don't send them, here's a promotion we have. Here's a product, please buy this. As a screen print business, send your customers value that helps them where they're at. If they own a business, if most of your clientele are small business owners, local businesses, mom and pop shops, brick and mortar stores, whatever, then send them things that help add value to them. whether or not it has anything to do with screen printing, but it's better if it does. But send something that helps them in their business, and then they're going to reciprocate by doing business with you. So don't just say, hey, buy 100 t-shirts for $500 this week only. Do it a little differently. Like, say, hey, here are the most popular t-shirts we've sold this year. And this one's really hot. It's really popular. It's got a new color out. By the way, I'm doing a special right now where you can get this t-shirt for this amount of money. You can throw that in there at the end, but it's not really even that necessary. Just provide value and stay at the top of their inbox, sending on a consistent basis, whether that's once a month, that's okay. If it's once a week, that's okay too. You will get people that drop off, but you will have the ones that stay or the ones that are going to do business with you. And they will more than make up for the ones that drop off that don't like the monthly play or the weekly email. But I can't overstate the value of email marketing for a screen print business. It really can be what sustains your business, because you can spend time on social media and there's value with that, and there's value. Advertising has its place. Sales has its place. But at the end of the day, any social media platform could just crash, and you could lose access to all of your customers on there. It's basically building a house on somebody else's land, and you don't want to do that. But with email, you can take that list of contacts anywhere you go, and you always have the ability to contact them, even if it's just one by one. So you never lose that ability, and you can take them anywhere. Even if your own website goes down, you can still be in touch with your customers through email. So it is your most valuable digital assets, your most valuable, what do they call the old little flip book contact things? I forget, but it essentially becomes your CRM, where you're like, hey, I'm going to keep track of all of my customers, all the people who have said, yeah, you can email me. You can send me your marketing emails. And so you can take that with you. You never lose access to that. So don't sleep on email for screen printing. So that's my spiel on email. I'm going to jump back over to just YouTube and see if there's any questions for the rest of this lunch break live. But if you missed lunch break live on Fridays over at YouTube, throwing it on Instagram this week. But for now, we're going to jump back over to YouTube and be exclusive over there. So Instagram, have a good day. All right, so back over here on YouTube, we got a few watching. Let me know in the chat who's watching. Say hi. I want to say hi to you. And what questions do you have about email marketing or screen printing in general? Like, where are you at in your print business? What is it that you're struggling with, if anything? Or what's the success that you've just had? Maybe you can share what you've learned with that in recent days and whatever you're working on. So I'd love to hear what you're working on. Everybody is super interested in discharge printing usually, or in the fact that I print with just water base. And I'm hearing a lot of fears lately. And this just, you shouldn't be afraid to print water base. It's really not as hard as everybody makes it out to be. Mel comes in with the answer here. Rolodex. That's what I was trying to think of. Rolodex. You having an old fashioned Rolodex. But yeah, email is just, I can't overstate the value of it. So Mel, good to see you. Good to, I'm with you here telling your age. I'll be 41 in a couple of months. So I will tell my age. And I'm not ashamed. You can see the gray. I mean, you guys all see the gray hair in the videos. And if you see one from back here, there's very little hair. So it's unfortunate it's going away from me. But yeah, what questions does everybody have? I'd love to answer some questions live here. Haven't had any sent in specifically for this, but I just get questions throughout the week. And so I like to just answer those. But what are you all working on? What's your current, like a lot of times I'll just work on something new, or a new method, or a new, way of printing, or new apparel, or what are you afraid of? What are you struggling with right now? Let's talk. Something's been top of mind for me is my printer. And I posted about my inkjet printer the other day. I had one act up over the summer. I was using the Epson Artisan 1430, and it's a great printer, but it's super expensive and they don't make it anymore. So, it's not really easy to find parts for it, and it's not really that dependable. And I recently, earlier this year, finally bought a Canon what is it? Canon IP8720 is the one I have, and I have a link to that over on Amazon, and it is just a great printer, and I love it. And you can even get the IX6820, I think is the other one, or 6280, I don't remember. And it's also a great printer, and it's about $100 cheaper. But you just got to be sure that you get an all black ink kit. It's going to work even better, and get RIP. That way you can take full advantage of the all black ink. But all right, so here's a question from Tim Frey. What is the best email platform to use for mass email marketing? Great question, Tim. So really, at the end of the day, there's not really one that I think is really that much better than the other. I think for businesses just getting started, what I have often used to make my decision is it has been price. I'm currently using, let's see, let me pull up a link to this one. I'm currently using one that is actually really affordable, and I've enjoyed using it. It's not super complex, which is nice. It's not, some of them like MailChimp and HubSpot, they do a lot, and so it can become really overwhelming really quickly. And so I can't always recommend that, but if you can navigate through MailChimp, it's a great one. I mean, it works just fine. This one here is the one I use for my current email newsletter. If you sign up for my emails here at Startup Screen Printing, then this is what I use to send you emails. It actually goes a little bit further because it's called Email Octopus, and I use its integration with Amazon SES. So I actually only pay about $8 a month for this, for, I don't know, 1,500 subscribers, something like that. And so it's really affordable. I'm also a big fan of, God, now they're changing their name. Let's see if I can find, I use Klaviyo for my print shop. So Klaviyo is a great CRM. Let me see if I have a link for that. Klaviyo is going to be a competitor with like HubSpot. And so if you are, if you have used HubSpot, or you're looking for something that also has like sales tracking, then Klaviyo is a great option. I've used HubSpot, also has a free plan, and I've used that, and it works okay. It just depends on what you're comfortable using. But I've been really pleased with Klaviyo. Let me see if I can find, I don't think I have a link for them. No, but it's just klaviyo.com. So let me just put that. Klaviyo. So this is what I use for my print shop, is Klaviyo, and it can integrate with things like your billing and other CRM stuff, but it's kind of an all-in-one CRM, but it also for email marketing. So it's a good one, especially if you have a small list just getting started. So I think it's a great option. So I would say, do Klaviyo. Email Octopus is a good one. But again, Tim, it's really, you can't go wrong with any of them. I think the key is just making sure whatever one you use, you can afford it. Make sure that you are aware of the contact limits. So some of them are like free for 100 contacts, and so you might outgrow that pretty quickly. Or some of them are, free up until a certain amount. But yeah, so I would just check into Klaviyo. And I see Tim's got another one here. It says, I've been looking for a shop software, been through most of them, but also use QuickBooks Online for invoicing. So I would want to use something that integrates with that. So Klaviyo does have some integrations. Let me look here. I've got it pulled up. So let me look at what their integrations are. I've got it integrated with Zapier and Make, which are some kind of automation platforms, but let's see if it integrates with QuickBooks. It doesn't look like it. but it might be something that you can use third party like uh, Zapier or Make in order to integrate. That's where I do most of my integrations. And you mentioned shop software. So I've actually rolled my own shop management software, and I've made it quite robust here recently to where it does quite a bit. Let me pop this open and show you guys. Since you mentioned shop software, let's just jump into there. So, hey, Imperial Custom and Little Miners getting ready for Q4. Yep, I think we all are. It's that time of year, getting ready for the holiday push. I can't believe the holidays are upon us. But let me get Airtable up here and see if I can figure out what app this is going to show if I show you guys this shop management platform that I built with Airtable, because it's pretty robust and it's pretty cool. Yep. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Turn focus on. Okay. So it looks like you've got it. All right. So I've got some kind of demo information in here. I've got some products. So this is Airtable. And I've used Airtable in the past for things like my artwork. I keep track of all the artwork and I assign it an ID. You can actually buy this, just this tab on my website. It's the artwork database. And so this is how I kind of keep track of all my customers' artwork, and I assign them an ID. And you can go into the formulas and change how this is assigned. But essentially, this is just a Excel sheet on steroids, basically. But what I've done is I've got all these different tabs that do things like keep track of all the products that I've used. And so as someone asks for a new item, like maybe they want an AS color item, I would add it to my list, so that I can keep track of it. And I like to add my price, the item cost, and then the customer's price. So whenever I get a discount at a vendor like S&S, I don't push that discount over to the customer. That discount benefits my business, not my customers. So I still price my orders based on the full price of the item, not the sell price. So I keep track of, a lot of different details. Same thing with my screens. I keep track of the type of screens I've got, what their statuses are, the different inks that I've got, how much I've got left, what the recipe is for that. These are services where you would do something like ink change, and then you would give it a rate. So it'd be $20 per change is what I would normally do. Or like a screen resize, things like that. And then you can keep track of your customers. So it has sort of a CRM platform here. And then, you can add whatever statuses you want, however information you have here. I've got things like it goes over to Klaviyo and it pulls their ID out of Klaviyo and puts it into here so that I can keep track of that. Same thing with their Stripe ID. When I add a customer to my CRM here to Airtable, it adds them to Stripe as a customer to my Stripe account, and then pulls over here and puts the ID in here so that I can have that integration, and I can do some other automations with it. But then I can do things like add a price fee. So, let's say I have like my standard pricing here, and it can pull in some other data. But where it really gets cool is when I get into, let's go to orders. So I've got like an order here, and let's just say, customer places an order. Okay, so I've got my order. It automatically assigns an ID. I assign a customer to it. I create a new invoice line item here, and then I can add line items to this. So these are all inside of that order. But then where it really gets fun is it starts to, like, I'm adding the rate, how much I've priced for each of these. And so it's pulling it all into the orders here. So if I go into my order line items right here, these are all those 3 items. So you can see it's just sharing right here, these 3 items. And same thing in invoices. I can go over to invoices, and now it pulls in the subtotal. It tells me how much the apparel is going to cost me so that I can see I'm going to make about $445 off of this order. And if the customer has sales tax applied on their customer record over here, like this one doesn't. So see, it's set to out of state. So let's say it was set to my town. And I go back to invoices. It's going to automatically do some sales tax here. And so then it starts to get really interesting once I have all this information, because Airtable has something called extensions, and in their extensions, they have a page builder. And so if I look at this page builder here, then now look at this. I have an invoice that I have, like, I can change the layout here. I can move this stuff around, but it pulls the data out of each of these records. So when I'm ready, I just have an invoice here and I can print this off, and it's got all the information that I want to show to my clients, and it's ready to go. But that's not even the most fun one. I also have like a work order here. So we can do like an internal work order. I can keep notes on a specific order so that when I come back to that order at a later date for a reprint or something, now I have the notes that I can add in here and keep track of that. Let's see, what else do we have in here? I've got this one is really fun. I've got a proof. So what I did in the customer artwork is I've got an artwork file. So this is the artwork that they want here. And I added that. And then I added a mock-up down here somewhere, right here, the apparel image. And so I've got an apparel image on this same record. And so now Airtable takes and says, okay, well, let's just make a art proof for you. And so it does all of this stuff dynamically. I didn't have to set up a proof. I just entered the information and it populates the information wherever it needs to go. And so that's the customer proof that I can download. And then I can go to my proofing system, which is Assure. And if you saw my video last week of my Lunch Break Live talking about Assure, it is a great proofing platform. It's got a very generous free plan. So I highly recommend you use it if you're not using something to send art proofs to your customers. I highly recommend you use Assure. It's ssp.inc/Assure, ASHORE. And it is phenomenal. And again, it has a very generous free plan. But if you wanted to upgrade to the pro plan, I have a coupon code that gets you 20% off for life for as long as you keep that plan. And it's just startup screen printing, all one word. So if you do the free plan, then you decide to upgrade, just use the coupon startup screen printing and you get 20% off forever. Some other things I have in here are internal mock-up. So this is something that, like, if I'm going down to print, I've got everything here that I need to remind me of how I'm going to print this. And I've got some areas down here where I can take notes. Again, this is all populated dynamically by Airtable. If my artwork had custom Pantone colors, then it would populate this Pantone right here, and I could open this up and print it out, and it would print on a label. Let me grab. See, it would print on a label like this. And then the next one is actually what this looks like. And this is I'm sorry, not the next one, the box label. So my customers pick up boxes on my front porch. And this just tells them, hey, this is not a box that was shipped to me. This is your box. So I just put a label in there and it populates this information dynamically for me. I don't have to do any of this, but it's everything for their order. And then, right here, this one is the packing slip. So this could go inside of their box. So it just kind of reiterates everything that's in there. I also use it, got it right here on another order. You can see I use it to check things off. I've ordered this and I check it off to tell myself, hey, yeah, you ordered this already. Don't order it again. And then when I get it, I check it in to see that I've received it and then that I've printed it and then that I've boxed it. And then I throw this in the customer's box and say, hey, this verifies that you have everything that you ordered. And then, yeah, that's it. Like the other, I've actually built this out to also be quotes on my own, but on this demo one, I don't have it quite that built out yet. But I mean, I haven't ever found an Airtable. I haven't ever found a shop management platform that was affordable for the small shops and those getting started, or that really was easy to use or didn't kind of get out of the way. You know, like I want shop management that makes it easy for me to get everywhere I need to go. And so what I love about this Airtable is that, like, I mean, everything I need to get to is right there. So I don't need to figure out which menus I need to go to. It's like, I've got it and I name it whatever I want to name it. So it's fully customizable. But then I've actually gone even further to set up some automations. So you can have automations. So like this one, for example, says when a record in the orders tab, when the status is changed to that it's boxed, then I want you to, what I have it set as is to run this script. And what happens with this script is it goes over to Make, which used to be Integramat, which is a lot like Zapier. It's a connectivity platform for automations. It pings that webhook. And I have a developer background, so this kind of stuff kind of makes sense to me, but I'm sorry if it doesn't to you. It's going to feel like it's out of left field here, but or like it's a different language. It pings that webhook and says, hey, there was an order that was changed to boxed. And so that webhook then says, oh, okay, we need to notify the customer. So it pulls up an email and plugs in that customer. Well, it goes to Airtable first and says, hey, well, get me all the rest of the information on that order. So it pulls the rest of that information and then it populates it into an email and sends to that person saying, hey, your order was boxed. It's ready for pickup. Let me know when you need it. So I don't have to actually go in, open up my email, type out an email to that customer, find their email address, remember about their order. When I'm done, I can on my phone pull open Airtable and change the status to boxed, and boom, it sends them an email. The same thing with the invoice. Like there's on my invoices tab, you can see I've got invoices here, and then there's a couple of statuses. There's draft, and then generate invoice, send invoice, and then paid and void. So when I select generate invoice, it goes over to Make. Make goes over to Stripe and says, hey, create an invoice item for this amount. And it uses the total right here. Create it for this amount. And then create an invoice, put that item in it, add it to this customer that's already in Stripe, because I've already added them on both places, right? And I have their Stripe ID. So it's already in Stripe. And then it comes back to Make and emails that customer, or no, it comes back to Airtable and says, hey, we made the invoice. It'll drop an invoice, a Stripe invoice ID here, and then it drops the Stripe invoice link here. And then when I change it to send invoice, it goes back to Make and says, all right, here's the invoice. I upload the PDF right here. It grabs that PDF, throws it into Dropbox, grabs a shared link to that, sends an email to the customer with that Dropbox link and with the Stripe payment link, and says, hey, your invoice is ready. Here's the PDF if you need it. Here's the link to click to pay. And then after they pay, it comes back to Airtable and says, hey, they paid. It changes the status for me. It emails me. It says, hey, your customer paid. Here's the customer that paid, etc. So I've gone, way further to really get this fleshed out. And again, this is not just something that you could plug and play on your own, but if you can understand this stuff, you can really build it out yourself. I've thought about packaging this up and seeing if I could sell it. I don't know how I could package an Airtable base like this, but it would really have to be some hands-on to help you get it set up on your end. But man, it sure is powerful, and I really have enjoyed using it. It's kept me way more organized. I look professional to my customers. I don't have to stop and think about sending emails and stuff along the way at different checkpoints. Like as soon as somebody places an order, I like to send them an email saying, hey, thanks for that order. Because I have a form where you can fill out and place an order. And so I send it to them. I'm like, hey, thanks for placing that order. And then along throughout the process, there's a couple of checkpoints when I like to just reach out and say, hey, just want to let you know, we're through the next stage. Your order's still going through the process. We're still on track for the due date of this and whatever date we've already determined. So it really helps to have that. And, there is a cost like $20 a month to the Pro Airtable, I think, but you can do quite a bit with the free one. So ssp.inc/Airtable will get you. This is to get you to Airtable .inc/Assure for my proofing app. And again, that one, if you use the code startup screen printing, all one word, you'll get 20% off for life. If you use the paid plan, you can use a free plan and it will work. It will work just fine. So yeah, I think this might be the case. Automating things, especially when you're a solopreneur. I mean, when you can automate things that are time sucks, that don't really need your dedicated attention in order to customize things like notifications that you can send to your customer. There's no reason for you to have to open up your email and type out the same email that you just typed to your other customer just to tell them that their order's ready. So when you can automate that, you save a ton of time. And those of us who are working these shops as a side business or a solopreneur shop, know that time is not something we have a lot of. And so when you can automate things, that's when it really can help your business grow much faster and still run as a solo shop. So I'd love to know whatever feedback you all have on that Airtable. I would love to. I've always wanted to flesh out a shop management platform that was built for small shops, built for those starting out. And I'm thinking about going down that road and maybe turning this Airtable into an actual app. But I would love to know if people are actually interested in that, and how, maybe we could do like a community effort where throw up a Kickstarter campaign and we all just invest in this application that's built for the small shops and we make it happen. That would be super cool. But yeah. All right. Well, we got about 5 minutes left. So if there's any more questions that you all have, throw those in the chat. Otherwise, I just want to give one last note that I want to let you guys let you all aware of, let you all in on, I guess. I've heard from some other shops that, one of the things that kind of inhibits those getting started is you inevitably get a customer that comes to you asking for you to do something that you're not yet confident enough to do. And it's difficult when you're just getting started to turn that customer away. And it could be that you're just not confident in printing 50 shirts or 100 shirts, or maybe it's the complexity of the print. Or maybe you're printing some plastisol and a customer has asked for water base and you're still too scared to do water base. You haven't really gotten the confidence up, to do that. And I don't mean to say too scared as in shame on you for being scared. Rightfully so. I mean, there are some different variables with water base, so you shouldn't feel ashamed about that. But if you are in that position, I want you to know that you can always reach out to me to help you print that order. So I've said before, I'm not trying to grow a full-time business out of my shop. I'm trying to grow a full-time business helping you all do things like this, where I'm consulting with you and coaching you to build your business. So what happens with my shop really doesn't concern me, as long as it allows me the opportunity to have content to help you with your shop. That being said, if it becomes a shop that exists only to print things for other shops that are just getting started until they have the confidence to do it for themselves, or maybe your schedule is too full and you don't have the time, then reach out to me and we'll work out. You don't even have to worry about pricing. Like, you price it to your customer and then we'll just split whatever's left. So I'll work with you. We'll figure something out, but I want to help you grow. And if I can help you get an order complete, and it can cover whatever costs are there and make you some money along the way, but you don't have to worry about actually printing it until you're ready, then I want you to reach out to me and send me an email or fill out an order form on my website, and then let me know that that you're another shop, and that my website's there, alpineapparelco.com. And so I'll see if that turns into a link. I don't know, either one of those. So reach out to me and let me know how I can help you, because I want to help you grow. I'm not interested in getting rich off of these orders. So I just want to help you grow. And if I can print for you to help you, take care of a customer or finish a deadline or accomplish a big order, then I want to do that. So be sure you reach out to me, and we'll discuss it. We'll make it to where you still profit off of that, and we'll figure something out. So I just wanted to make that call out. As it just hit me this last week, man, why haven't I offered this? Because I think it would be a great service for shops that I know when I was getting started, I relied on another shop to handle some of the orders that I wasn't confident with, or that I couldn't handle because they were too big. And that shop took care of that and gave them back to me, and I delivered to the customer, and the customer never knew. And so it's a great setup, especially when you're just getting started, so that you can get your feet wet, grow your customer base, build your business while you don't have the time or the confidence to do the prints yourself. So reach out to me and let me know how I can help you. And then last but not least, if you are watching this and you want to support this channel, I do not take any promotional money from other businesses. So I don't do ads. I don't take any sponsorships. If a business sends me an item and wants me to review it, I'll gladly try it out and see what I think. But I do not take any financial sponsorships from companies to run this business. So if you would like to support the channel and my efforts to do that, because it is viewer supported, then there are ways to do that in the description. You can either give a one-time amount on Buy Me a Coffee, or you can become a supporter on Patreon on a monthly basis. And I do put some exclusive content over on Patreon that I don't ever post on social media or anything else. So some extra stuff there. I'm just trying to build a community-led business, a community-supported platform, because really at the end of the day, that's what I'm about, is the community. And so if you want to do those, I greatly appreciate it. If not, I understand. No hard feelings. And then if you want to join us over at theprintcrew.com, it is free community for screen printers, where we're over there just helping each other. It's not super active yet. There's about 21 or 22 people in there, but it's growing. And the people that are in there are really supportive and eager to help each other. We're asking questions, giving feedback. So it's a great community, a place that you can feel safe to ask whatever questions you have in your business, and just help other printers grow their businesses too, because we're all in this together. Competition is healthy, but at the end of the day, we need to help support each other, because it grows the industry and that grows our businesses. So would love to have any and all of you join over there. But all right, that's it for today. We had a bit of a balk earlier with the first session of this not having any sound, but this second one was a lot of fun. And I hope you all love the Airtable base and want to see more of that. I'll continue to build that out and look for ways that I can distribute that. Because I think a lot of people would enjoy it, and it's really helped my business. But look for ways to automate. Be sure you're doing email marketing, and be sure you don't miss next week's Lunch Break Live, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, every single Friday. Have a great week.